Hey guys, welcome to Out Loud. It's your girl Claudia Jordan. Now tonight, it's fellas night, and I'm talking to the husbands of some of your favorite reality stars from some of the on television. The husbands from Love and Hip Hop New York, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Love and Marriage Huntsville are here, and they're giving us the inside scoop on their relationships, what really happens when the cameras are off. I know you want to hear about that, and the importance of increasing positive images of Black men on television. Super important stuff. So please welcome Papoose from Love and Hip Hop New York, Ralph Pittman Jr. from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Mike Hill from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Marcel Scott from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you so much for having us.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm glad we're doing this. I feel like all too often we don't really get to hear as much from the fellas, and I think you play a really important part. So I want my viewers to learn a little bit about y'all and your lovely wives. So let's start with you, Papoose. Welcome back. You've been on the show before, and I appreciate you coming back.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You and your wife.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. I enjoyed it last time. Super transparent dude, and I think you have the bar raised really high as far as like, reality husbands. I think you just hold it down. You really have. Now, you and your wife Remy Ma, both rappers, and appeared on Love and Hip Hop New York. How long have y'all been together exactly? And how did y'all meet?
My wife and I have been together since about 2005. We met around 2005, and we started off as friends first. Eventually, we got married in 2008. But as far as how we met, it was through a mutual friend of mine who I was working with at the time, and he was a well-respected DJ by the name of DJ K Slay, and I had just came into the game. I had just signed my deal with him, and one day he gave me that phone call. He was like, "Yo, Remy want to do a song with you." And I was like, word. I was always a fan of her. You know what I'm saying? I had previously told a family member of mine that, one day she would be my wife. You know what I mean? He laughed at me at the time because I was just a regular dude.
I was going to ask you if you started off by you just wanted to work with her and it just grew, but you knew ahead of time, like you had your plan.
Yeah. We had something out here in New York. I'm sure a lot of y'all familiar with it. It's called Smack DVD. So back in the days, we was actually watching the DVDs, and I seen her come on the DVD, and I was like, wow, one day I want to meet her, man. I want to make her my wife. And my uncle was with me. He laughed at me, saying like, ain't never gonna happen. You know what I mean? But later on down the line, I actually, was able to make a name for myself and become successful in the music business. And a DJ I was working with, who's like an older brother to me now by the name of K Slay, he gave me that phone call. He was like, yo, Remy want to do a song with you. So, he gave me the rundown. He was like, yo, I'm letting you know now, that's like my little sister. If you're going to deal with her, make sure you be on point because she crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is So I'm like, all right. So he set the session up. Man, I made sure I had on my best outfit. You know what I mean? I was ready, got my hair cut, everything. And I went to the studio and she never showed up. You know what I'm saying? What? So she never showed up. So I just kept it pushing, and then one day randomly she just popped up to the studio and we did a song together. And I just flirted with her through my whole verse. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying little lines, you know what I mean? Flirting here and there. And honestly, we started out as friends. Like, she was in the game before me, so she was just kind of schooling me, because me being fresh off the street, I thought, the music business was real. I thought, the artists really lived the things they talked about. And, it was all about talent. I was young, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize it's more about business than talent, things of that nature. So she was just telling me, like, you got to be careful, be mindful. People will try to hate on you if you're not smart. So she was kind of schooling me. We started off as friends, but we were very inseparable. We would break day in a vehicle just talking, you know what I'm saying? The conversation. And when we would split from each other, I always missed her, you know what I mean? So that's how I kind of knew she was the one. That was a sign for me. And eventually we got married, man. Here we are.
Wow, you spoke that into existence.
Right?
Wow, thanks for the backstory. That's super cute. Like, I think all the women watching right now are like, oh, like we love that. Now, Marcel, you co-own a contracting business and Black Cigar Lounge with your wife. How do you balance, your marriage and working together? And is it good to spend all your time with your wife, or do you need a break?
Well, our whole thing, we got like traditional roles to a certain extent. So even though we both share ownership of the business, most of it, the actual day-to-day operations on the contracting side comes from me.
Okay.
And in Black, that's the first kind of one that we share to a certain extent, a lot of the dual roles. I have a restaurant hospitality background, so I'm able to be president and kind of understand the direction. But her, as far as director of operations, handling all the day-to-day, I just realized recently how much I need her as far as business-wise. So, it's dope right now together.
You know what, I'm gonna say this before we move on to Ralph. The YouTube comments are, they can be positive, they can be negative, right? Like there's really no gray area. And they're loving seeing you Black men that hold down your wife, because we don't see enough of this image on television. We really don't. And it's really refreshing. Tina says, I love the way Marcel loves on his wife. Jason says, Papoose, 5 Fingers of Death is my favorite. Andrea says, woo, all these married Black men. We love to see it. So there's a lot of love in the comments for you, brothers. I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Thank you.
Now, Ralph, you're the founder of Mind My Business, My Music Wellness Company. And your wife is actress Drew Sidor, who was on the show a few weeks back, and I loved her. She's also a cast member on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. When did you realize that she was the one?
So we actually started off dating in LA. So it was an interesting story. I was at an event. I saw actually her son. So you could say really, truly, he brought us together. So Josiah, Josiah ran out the car. He had a little football. Football rode into the street. Drew ran after him. Her sister ran after him. And then all of a sudden I grabbed the ball and we started playing catch a little bit. I was like, you got a cute son. Her sister actually said, I wonder, you're the kind of guy that's really good for my sister. And so we ended up exchanging numbers and everything. Stayed in touch a little bit. Now, one thing about Drew, she'll, we'll have a conversation and then she'll kind of just ghost. And so one day she was in LA. We ended up going out. Matter of fact, she ended up playing before a scandal party. So we had a date. We were supposed to get together, and all of a sudden she ended up canceling. She was like, all right, I'm free on Friday. I was like, all right, cool, we can do lunch. So we ended up getting together for lunch, ended up going on a date, and literally it lasted for 12 hours. And so we talked about everything. We had so much in common, her love of music, entertainment, family. And so we just continued to vibe. We ended up doing karaoke, and it was just an incredible night. And so the next day, we ended up going to Sky Zone for her son's birthday party. Had a great time because I wanted to meet him. Really, I think especially being in a blended family, you're not just dating the woman. You really truly are dating the child as well. And I wanted to see if we had a connection, if we could actually have a bond, and we hit it off. And then the next day, typically the third day, I always say, I'm not available. And so she ended up calling me like, hey, Ralph, I'm cooking food. You want to come over? I was like, all right, cool. Ended up going to her house. She was actually cooking 2 rows of on a grill, and I was like, oh, she can cook? And so that right there was like, all right, that was huge and major for me. And we just kept going. And literally we dated for 3 months. I proposed to her.
What?
And yeah, it went really fast. I had 5 elements of compatibility that I was looking for. I was like, all right, if she has these particular elements, then, we can definitely seal the deal. And I think she's the one for me. And she had it. Yeah. And so she had it. So I proposed in 3 months. We ended up getting married 2 months later. And so it was kind of spectacular. It went very, very fast, and we're on this ride together. So it's kind of incredible. But yeah, she's my ride or die.
And y'all are super cute on social media. I see the videos y'all make. It's really, really cute. And then someone in the comments, I have to just share before I go on to Mike, said that you be thirst trapping on the gram, and they want to know if you have any brothers, because they want to know if you have any brothers that look like you. So okay.
I do have a little brother, but he's married also.
Okay, he off limits.
Off limits.
Mike Hill, we go way back. We had a podcast together. You brought me into Foxhole, but you had your own career before and after, talk show host, sportscaster, done it all. My brother. And I really feel funny asking you questions because I know the story because I was kind of there for it all. But you're newlywed, 6 months in. How's a newlywed wife? You're married to Cynthia Bailey, Real Housewives of Atlanta. How's it going, Mike?
Great. Honeymoon's my best friend for life. It's great to meet somebody that you can actually fall in love with. And like you said, Claudia, my story, the things I used to do out in the LA streets and how I used to be and how I had to change. And finally found my soulmate, found somebody that I could actually fall in love with, somebody I could trust, because I started beginning to trust myself after a lot of the trauma that I went through early on in my life that I talked about numerous times on our podcast and throughout Foxhole when I had a show here and whatnot. So it's good. It's wonderful. I mean, everything ain't a utopia. Everything ain't perfect, but you know, we're perfect for one another. And people saw the wedding this past Sunday. That was the first time that I've actually seen it since we got married in October. And I gotta admit, it kind of brought a little tear to my eye. It got a little emotional thinking about it and seeing how beautiful she was. And every day when I wake up, I just thank God because I'm blessed to have one of the most beautiful people inside and out as a part of my life. So it's great.
Y'all definitely looked great. Y'all was sharp at the wedding, and I know your story. And it was nice to see it and to see it through and to see how all in y'all were. I remember I went to dinner with y'all like Catch one time, and the way Cynthia was looking at you, she was just like gazing at you, like it was reminding me of like, remember in college or high school early on when you just be like super open.
Yeah.
I was like, they about to get married. They gonna get married.
Yeah, them type of people when you're on the phone with somebody and you're like, you get off the phone first. You know, it does remind you of back, teenage days. You don't want to get off the phone with one another. She can talk. So, but it's been fun. It's been great. And like I said, being married to your best friend, that's why I'm happy for you. And when you find somebody, I know your story and what you've gone through. So now that I can feel the love myself, I'm happy for other people. And I'm happy to be on here with these kings on here who love their wives the way they do as well.
They do. So before we're going to break, one last comment from YouTube. NT says, loving tonight's show. These are some good guys to have on the platform. Once again, there's a void and we don't get to see it enough. So that's why this show is important. Welcome back to Out Loud. I am joined by the husbands of reality TV who have fantastic careers in their own right. I don't want to just call them husbands. They got a lot going on. So let's get into it. Let's see. Papoose, because of the lockdown, you're spending a lot of time together as a couple. And I love how, although we know the background of Love and Hip Hop is known for its like tumultuous scenes and lots of drama, you found a way to still keep it sweet for your wife. Let's take a look.
What is this? Poor baby. Let me kiss him. This one too.
When we were here Remy on Wax, and just like how she would rhyme, it's just so hard and just so like just beast mode. And then to see her with you and to see like how she gets softer around you and y'all like it's beautiful to see. It really is.
Thank you. I mean, she's a human. Sometimes in entertainment, unfortunately, our audience only get to see that one side of us, and they think, they think they're gonna get lean back or conceited Remy all the time. Hardcore Remy, but behind the scenes, man, she's a mother. She's a sister, she's a daughter, she's a wife. So she wears so many different hats. And that's actually one of the things I love about her because she has so many different talents. But definitely, man, she brings out that softer side sometimes. Not all the time now. But most of the time, I'm lucky enough to get that. You know what I mean?
Marcel, you posted this beautiful beachside video for your wife's birthday. Where was the shot taken?
That was in 2000. That was our 10th year anniversary at LeBlanc in Cancun. And that was, let me see, when was it? That was for her birthday, but that was our 10-year anniversary. I just reposted it. One of her homegirls at the time took the picture. Took the video, and then we just did it. That's our song. Still, with everybody thought we wouldn't make it for some god awful reason, but still together.
And I'm sure you all can speak to this. When your relationship is public, people are actually betting and rooting against it a lot of times, and then it does feel nice to kind of stun on them and be like, no, we good, we still here.
Definitely,
big good, ain't going nowhere.
That's right. That's right, man. That unity is important, man. A lot of people, for some reason, they hate unity, man. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you got that tight bond between your significant other, can't nobody come in between that. You know what I mean? I'm sure all the brothers up here they could vouch for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. You got to have that bubble. I mean, you can't let people inside your bubble. There's only so much that you allow people to see. We put things on social media, and what I don't understand is like when I put how much I love my girl on social media, some people want to come out and try and clown, but luckily I don't listen to it because if you want to put your Benz, you want to put your house and all that, that's great. You want to put everything that you're doing, flossing and stuff on. Why can't I put the thing that's the most significant thing in my life, a person in my life on play. I mean, so it's my social media, but I also look at who's actually saying those things and who's making those comments. And a lot of times, you know, there might be miserable people that don't have anybody themselves. So, you know, I just, you know, have to think about them.
Big facts.
Find the love I found.
No, it might be. It's 100% they are miserable. Nobody happy does. No one. Y'all have never done that, right? We're all happy. No one's going on someone's page to talk shit to them and about being happy in love. Like that's not what happy people do.
Right.
Like they must be like, I would have left them. Like, all right, that's why you single now.
Exactly.
You left them because you left every time.
Bring him in the past and talk about all this stuff and don't see people that change and knowing that you still with a man that's cheating on you 5 or 6 times every week. You know what I mean? But you know, but I understand how they
now
what they're feeling or whatever. But like, they got a right to their opinion, but I also now got a right opinion to block them as well. And that's been the best friend of my life.
and you know what it is, man? It's a privilege to be up here with brothers who are married. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure we, in a lot of ways, we're going to share the similar mind state. Because, you know, I get a lot of people, you know, who praise and look up to the situation like, yo, no, I want to say I commend you for being the way you are with your wife and your family. Then I get brothers who say, damn, man, you making it hard for me, man. You know, why you always with this black love stuff, man, this marriage, you know what I mean? And I try to talk to them and give them advice like, yo, listen, man, you're getting older now. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Get wiser. You become wiser. Settle down. You will find so much peace in your life. You know, you have a career, you have endeavors and dreams and things you want to accomplish. You can't accomplish that when you're lying to different women, living a double life or a triple life. You know what I mean? I want you to know that it's going to infect your endeavors. So I try to tell brothers, you know, instead of knocking me and being angry at me, try to learn from it. You know what I mean? And settle down.
Well, you know, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Risley, man, I feel you, bro. Because listen, these young cats look up to us to a certain extent, and they don't realize the mistakes we made to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there you
two of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life was confusing money for success and sex for love.
Yes.
Two of the biggest things, bro.
That's right.
So with all of what we're talking about now, and I've had the conversation with Mike before he got on the show, about, you know, how it can affect your relationship. And you, on top of the regular pressure that a normal couple has, then throw in success, then you got TV, then you got everybody that has to have an opinion on your relationship. I mean, how much does it affect you? I mean, we can sit here and be strong, but it's got to sometimes cause some issues. Does it cause issues? Have y'all had arguments about social media stuff? Because I can imagine just all the time, just someone coming in and bringing that negativity. Is it difficult to maintain the bubble, as you call it? Ralph, let's start with you. Is it difficult to keep out those outside voices or not?
Yeah, well, you know, you got to have some kind of a bond and an understanding of like who's saying what, like Mike was just saying a second ago. I think when I first started off, because I'm probably the newest person to this whole entire reality world. And for me, it was a little challenging seeing all of the various different comments. And of course, my storyline, we started off extremely strong. And it was really challenging to see all the various different things in comments from people that have no idea about what we truly deal with and why my relationship works. We've been in this thing approaching 7 years, you know? So this isn't some like cookie cutter kind of relationship. Like literally, we've been through a lot of various different challenges. And so it's just really, truly understanding. And you got to sometimes push it out like, all right, cool. Who is this person, you know? And do they really truly understand the dynamics of even how to make a relationship work? So it really truly does come into really removing the noise and being able to focus on the things that really truly do matter, which really truly has everything to do with my wife. That right there is what matters. That's the first and only opinion that I really truly care about. As long as she's happy and as long as we can get through the different things, trials, tribulations, then it's nothing that can break us. And so everything else, you just got to push off to the side like, yeah, you know, and that right there is a challenge at times.
And
the toughest things, CJ, is that, you know, a lot of times you could do a scene for 2 hours on a reality show and you can have a great scene and everything. And then they're going to clip 2 minutes of that in which you have a minor argument that looks so big on television and everybody thinks that's your entire relationship. That's the problem because people don't see your entire life. They see bits and pieces of clips of your life on reality TV. And then all of a sudden they have a judgment based on that. And sometimes I feel like that's unfair. But once again, as long as my home and the bubble is secure and we know about one another, we could, we listen and we see the comments. We can't say you don't see the comments because obviously we're human. And if you see something that's unfair, it stings a little bit, but at the same time, you get a tougher skin. But we also know how strong we are and we continue to move on. Don't let it affect us.
The people that are watching these shows, like I get it's fun to throw shade and make little smart ass comments and on Instagram and everything. But it's like dope to see, like, take advantage of what you see. And like, y'all are in 4 different relationships and have different backstories, different struggles y'all had to overcome. Like, maybe learn something from that or take something from that or see how other people resolve their conflict instead of just being so happy to say some negative, foul nonsense on the page. I know that's asking for a lot these days, but does it ever get overwhelming though?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Maybe I'm a little different, but I grew up that poor kid at the lunch table, and either you had jokes or hands. So I got jokes for them. My thing is, you say something to me, you say something about my wife, you say something about me all day, I'm cool. You say something about my wife, you better have every one of them pictures in your profile because I got time. I got time for this shit. Like, I go in at you, I'm going to talk about you, you talk about something I love, I'm going to talk about something you love. And we're going to see who ends up crying at the end. So,
it's crazy, and that's good. And that's a good approach to have. But what's so messed up about their lives sometimes is that they're so lonely and so miserable that they want you to respond because that's the best thing that ever happened to them. You responded to them, it's like, oh, I can't. Then all of a sudden, they're your best friend. I can't believe you responded. Oh, it's not so bad.
Right.
Which is, I feel like it's even more sad. It's like, damn, you are so miserable that you got to say some shit to me, and I'm not even bothering you. But just so you can get my attention. My attention. Who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what's crazy? I promise you, you're also watching everyone else's trauma and the challenges they go through because you just said something, right? You can make an opinion over a 2-minute clip and you have no idea the backstory. Yeah. But it's pulling on other people's traumas and why they go through the things that they go through. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you by yourself is because you're not willing and ready to go through those different challenges. And really, truly, I promise you, I'm going to tell you, one of the best things that I ever received was somebody put a comment in and was like, let me tell you, Ralph, I'm going through the same thing that you're going through and experiencing the same exact thing. I would love to see how you guys make it out. What are you doing? How are you making it work? And I promise you that made me light up because at the end of the day, we are truly a reflection. Although you can't judge the whole entire picture, we are putting our lives out there to go and show people exactly what we're doing and also how to make relationships work. So even Papoose, man, I applaud you, bro, just for what you're doing and standing strong because relationships in general, and especially doing reality, it has a high failure rate. And so really, truly, you got to be extremely grounded to make sure you can push through because, man, everybody is rooting against you.
Nah, definitely, man. One of the things, with us putting our lives out there, you definitely got haters, but you also got people who actually need to see that because I'll give you an example. When my wife initially got pregnant, she had a miscarriage. And when she had that miscarriage, she was ashamed. She felt embarrassed. She didn't want the world to know it. And at the time, we were in the process of filming for the television show. And what I told her was, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel embarrassed to show that. There are a lot of people who look up to you and they're probably going through the same situation. And they probably feel like, damn, why me? Am I the only one that this is happening to? So, with them seeing that, damn, Remy Ma actually went through she actually had a miscarriage. You know what I'm saying? They might be inspired to keep going and, keep their head up. So sometimes, us putting out there our trials and tribulations and some of the difficult things we go through, it actually helps people.
Hey, you real talk. My wife was she from Bessemer, Alabama.
Hey,
and
I'm from Bessemer.
A word.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And you gotta think Gucci Man, one of them. Hey, but no, she from down there, and y'all got a subculture. Y'all got a different way of talking. It's like South Carolina geeky, almost like you don't even know what you're saying. And so she learns. She grows up in that. Then all of a sudden comes to different, a different city, a different, college or whatever. And she's a little, apprehensive about her speech. Yes, it ain't nothing but just regular old, just different kind of dialect. Just the way everybody talk, their slang. And at first, me being kind of overprotective, I'm like, nah, man, I don't even want nobody to know your struggle because I know this right here gets to you. But she showed me some strength when she got on TV, on national television, and say, listen, I'm struggling with this right here. And now I see that confidence in her in that aspect building up just because of that. So to me, that's when you start seeing, because of course we see reality TV and like Mike said, like we sitting back like, who am I? This just my regular life. But seeing that and seeing that how it inspires others, to me, that was inspiring to myself.
Well, I love the insight y'all are giving us. I think if people in the right headspace, they can really, use y'all's experience on these reality shows and your wives being so open about things to better their own lives, if they would stop getting out of that, that negative space. We're gonna take a quick break, but I want y'all to think about this during the break. I want to know, what would your wives say are the most annoying things about you? We're gonna get those answers when we take this quick break. We'll be back with more Out Loud on Fox Soul when we return. We're back with Out Loud with Claudia Jordan. Now, if you want to see more Fox Soul content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get all the best updates on new videos and live shows. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and tell us how you really feel in those comments. I'm talking to the husbands of reality TV, Papoose, Marcel Scott, Ralph Pittman Jr., and Mike Hill. Okay, before we went to break, I said I want to know, what would your wife say is the most annoying thing or habit about each of you? Who wants to go first? Mike, go ahead. What would Cynthia say? What would Miss Cynthia say? Mrs. Cynthia say?
She used to say that I was too nice to everybody. That I was, even though she's the nicest person on the planet. But how I am, Claudia. It's hard for me to say no to somebody, especially if I know somebody needs help. If I need to support them, even if I'm dog tired, I'll go across town to support their event. So she used to always say, "Why you running yourself ragged for that type of stuff?" So it used to be that. And now I've learned how to say no. But I think now, I don't know what irritates her. She in love with me. No, I think it's like, I don't engage. So if we get into a little tip, man, I'll just let her say what she has to say and I'll just leave it alone. And if it gets too out of hand, I just walk away, which she really hates. She doesn't like it when I walk away because I know myself. And if I get to that point, I'm gonna end up saying the wrong thing and I don't want to go there.
Right. I've seen you mad before, Mike. I've seen you mad before.
You seen the shirt come off and everything.
I've seen the shirt like, yes, I did. Woo, yeah, that's a whole nother show. Ralph, what would Drew say is the most annoying thing about you or most annoying habit that you got? What would you say?
You know what? I think the most annoying thing is also the best thing that she loves. I'm type A, and so I'm a go-getter. So it's one of those things that I would definitely push you. And I think Drew kind of loves it when she loves it. For instance, even when we're working out or pushing her in business, I'm that guy that's going to make sure that you accomplish your goals. But the problem is I don't have an off switch, so it's always on. That's always ready to go. So she'll sometimes be like, well, I'm ready to go in love or I need a hug. And I'm like, So I always got to make sure I can just switch gears, which is a learning process, I'm from Jersey. So
are you bossy, Ralph? Are you a little bossy?
I wouldn't say I'm bossy.
Would Drew say you're bossy?
Drew probably would definitely say I'm bossy. Okay. But I just make things happen. That's what I like to do, You
make it. Okay. All right. Marcel, how about you? What would your wife say the most annoying thing about you or most annoying habit?
You know what? It's kind of like what these guys saying. It's like, as far as it's a double-edged sword because she doesn't like the fact that she loves the fact that I'm very strong-minded. Nothing can get to me. Any problem, anything we can overcome. I mean, I've already settled it. I'm going to win. So all of this is just nonsense. This is just this is just air that's coming through me. So I know I'm going to win anyway. But when it comes to her, she what I'm saying? Like she be needing sometimes hugs. And I'm like, no, go get it. F them. I don't care what. Just go after it. Just go after it. Because I know that no man can take his hand and break my spirit. And so I want to put that same resilience in her. But I don't know, man. So sometimes I just, like I said, I won't say I push too hard, but sometimes I'm like, it don't matter. And so whatever she's going through, to me, is so easy and so, it can be overcame so easily that I kind of dismiss the whole thing, including her feelings with it. So that's where I make my mistake.
And a lot of times I think men want to try to fix and solve our problems, but we just want to vent and talk and complain about something, not necessarily looking for a solution. We just
and I don't get that. Why would y'all do that? Why would you have a problem that you can just solve?
I have these conversations with my girlfriends a lot because I think more like how the man is, what's the solution? And I try to tell them, but they even to me, it's the same thing. I had a talk with a friend today about that. So All right, Papoose, what would Remy Ma say about you? Most annoying habit, most annoying thing that you got going on.
Man, if she was here right now, she'd probably say I chew too loud.
How would she say it, Pop? How would she say it, Pap? How would she say it though?
She would say, "Oh my God, he chews too loud." I'm a skinny fat guy, man. Don't let the size fool you. I like to eat, man. But she'd probably say something like that. To be honest, you know what I mean.
Wow.
I'm too perfect. That's what feels like.
Who wins the arguments?
Oh, she do.
Yeah.
Mike?
She do. You can't win that.
When you become smart is when you let them win. You just don't try to argue. Once again, just walk away from the sit. Yep, you're right. You got it. And just, some battles you just can't fight all the time because you're gonna lose your damn mind if you want to stay with somebody forever. Because Claudia, you're a woman. And I've seen you in situations with guys before. So I know. So when you know that you want to be with this woman for a long period of time, man, you just learn how to adjust and just kind of let stuff go in, absorb it, let it out somewhere else in the gym somewhere, but let her win, man. I just, it's the best.
But Mark, let me ask you a question, Mark. Because I heard you say you walk away sometimes when y'all, when y'all get at it. Mm-hmm. Isn't the reality TV therapeutic in that sense? For me, it is, because my wife, she's something like you. Like, you know what I mean? If we have a disagreement, she's like, whatever. But with reality TV, when y'all filming, she has to sit there and actually talk it out with me. She has to sit there and deal with it. So it's kind of therapeutic because y'all get to talk through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Claudia, I don't know if Pap's seen the show or not, but when I get to the point, Ralph, you've seen it, I'll cut the cameras off.
Oh, what?
I will.
All day.
Hey, bro. Hey, that's
the thing is, I'm not gonna look stupid. Like I live in reality. I don't live for reality. That's my whole thing. I had a job, and I'm here to support her. I know I'm part of the show. I know I'm a big part of the show because of part of her. But at the same time, I'm not allowing people, once again, inside that bubble. There are certain things that those cameras aren't going to see. And I'm
so eventually, y'all talk it out. You saying off camera, off camera.
Absolutely. We eventually.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
that solution got to happen though.
Absolutely.
Switching gears, fellas. Switching gears. I want to get to know the real you. I'm going to put you all in the hot seat. I'll ask you a question. You got to give me a very quick and honest answer. There's no clock on you, but you got to answer fast. Are y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to ask the question and we just go through all of you real quick. Okay. Do you and your wife like to wear sexy PJs or do you sleep naked? Ralph? Naked. I say
naked.
Naked.
Let's go.
Did everybody say naked?
Yep, butt ass naked. I can't wear.
Everyone's naked.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I probably have my boxers on or something like that.
I got boxers, and I might even have a daughter in the middle or sometimes. I don't know.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer because definitely, as soon as my daughter come into bed, I got my little daughter. She got Anaya Grace. She's 3 years old. She comes in my room every night, and as soon as she comes in, I'm like, we're going to get some clothes.
Yep. You better not be naked.
It's uncomfortable.
All right. Papoose, reality TV can, really take a toll on people's families. So have you ever wanted to walk away from reality TV? This was for Papoose.
Absolutely not. To be honest with you, I've had a great experience on reality TV. You know what I mean? Initially, I didn't want to do reality TV. I said no. When my wife was incarcerated, they actually asked me to do it. And I said, hell no, people throw drinks at each other. And if somebody throw a drink at me, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
But when my wife came home, we had a talk and we said, you know what? We're not going to give, the world nothing negative to talk about or to look at us in a negative light. And when I did reality TV, I expected to get killed on the internet. I was on one knee proposing, all kind of shit. And honestly, I got nothing but love. I made a lot of money on reality TV. So my experience has been great, to be honest.
All right. Now, this is for Mike, a little personal, but when Cynthia appeared on the show here, she told us that y'all have really good sex. So what's your go-to trick in the bedroom that got my girl so in love, Mike? What you got? What's the go-to? What's the move?
I just
Mike.
I do it all. I'm a pleaser. So, whatever it takes, every single thing I need to do. From the root to the tutor, tongue, everything, anything that she needs done, except sucking toes. I'm not doing nobody's toes or feet or whatever, but I'm gonna so I'm that type of person that will make sure that, when she gets up, she's satisfied. So
Okay, you know what? We're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna get more nosy. I'm gonna get more into y'all's business when we come back, because this part is my favorite. So we're gonna be right back with some more right after this break. Welcome back to Out Loud right here on Fox Soul. I am here with the husbands of reality TV, and they were having fun little conversation during the break about winning and losing arguments with their wives. So it was nice to be a fly in the wall to hear y'all's conversation, fellas. I'm not gonna spill the tea, but yeah. Okay, we are back with the hot seat. So before we went to break, we were asking the fellas some, questions that would put them in the hot seat. And Ralph, we got to go to you. And just to clear the air, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm sure you knew I'm going to ask this question. You left your wife and kids for a few days without telling anybody, and you said you went to the beach. What really happened?
So once again, as I was saying before, man, you don't see the full picture. And so I don't know, we spoke about it on several times. My wife, she went through a couple of different surgeries. She ended up hurting her. She ended up rupturing her Achilles on stage during a play. And literally, I had to become her nurse. And mind you, before this even happened, I was traveling all over the place, taking care of business, making sure, I took care of the home and everything else. And then once that ended up happening, I ended up bringing my mother-in-law in. Of course, COVID ended up happening. And so now all of a sudden we're in a pandemic. I'm not traveling. I have to stay home. I'm taking care of my wife, doing IV changes, like literally like putting gloves on, doing medication injections and everything twice a day. And so, and then also you put in on top of that, George Floyd and everything with the Black Lives Matter movement. It was a lot of stress just to begin with. And so it was like a recipe for disaster just to begin. And then we get into a few different arguments. We had this huge blow up around, and it was something like crazy. Once again, I'm pragmatic. I'm somebody that's just like, look, you're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. My wife, she's all emotion. She's an actress. She's, she thinks different. So for her, my thing was, so we had to go to the doctor for her to go and make sure that she didn't have an infection in her bone. And so this was the final test. If she had the infection, she was going back into the hospital. If she didn't, she was cleared. That was like the most important thing for me at all. Nothing else was more important than that. She was more so excited about the kids going to school and doing homeschooling. And so she canceled the doctor's appointment. I'm like,
okay, Ralph, I gotta jump in. You mentioned George Floyd. Where did you go?
Huh?
You mentioned George Floyd, but where the hell did you go? We brought in George Floyd and the marches.
I'm telling you, all of that. It's real. It's real. But no. I went to Tampa, and so okay. I definitely left. And I mean, you get to a point. This is my thing, right? Your goal as a man is to make sure you keep your composure as long as you possibly can, and as much as you can, always. Once you get to a point where you lose your composure, because women poke, they'll do different things and get you to a place where you're like, hey, you know what? I have to leave, because if you don't, you're going to lose it, And so I ended up having to leave and get away for a while. And so that's what ended up happening. I was going through a lot. And so that was something that we did go through. Everybody saw the back end of it, me coming back after the 3 days. But, really, truly, I had to just get away for a second.
Listen, sometimes we need our me time. So it's totally understandable. It is.
Absolutely.
So you don't lose it. Okay. Marcel, one of your co-stars on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, accused you of being unfaithful in the past. Were those rumors false? And why would they make those claims?
Absolutely. I don't know. I think he was in a hot seat a little bit. I'm sorry. He was in a hot seat a little bit. And as a result, tried to just kind of deflect on me a little bit. But he came back and said those are false. First of all, I'm a black man. We all know black men don't cheat. So we can start there. All right. So we all know.
You ain't about to lie on my show, okay?
Exactly.
Lie on my show.
Better not cheat, goddamn it. Shit.
You shouldn't cheat. You better not cheat. But don't say don't.
Right. Craziness. Right. So it's ludicrous. But yeah, well, he said that, but just it was in a fit of emotion, who knows? But we cleared the air since then. We're stronger because of it.
Now, Papoose, I want to end with you. There's been rumors that you helped Remy write her lyrics. People want to say that you're behind all of that. Is there any truth to that?
Absolutely false. My wife has been in the music business before me, making platinum records, battling toe to toe on camera. This is all documented. Mm-hmm. But for some strange reason, you know what I'm saying? You got people who here and there, they wanted to make that up. When she got into a certain exchange, they try to say, Papoose wrote it, this, that, and the third. I mean, it's all right that they respect my pen, but you know, people respect her pen as well. Like I said, she's been in the game before me, making platinum hits and all of that. So I don't even understand. That don't even make sense when people say that.
We only have a couple minutes for this break, but I want to ask, how frustrating is it when, like, okay, you're all Black men, so no one here is weak or punk, you know what I mean? Y'all have a certain way about y'all, you know what I mean? Like how we defend our peoples. And then when you're on television and then you see all the things that people want to say and these negative things, how hard is it to balance, one, to check the hell out of someone, right? And tell them how you really feel or take it to them. Then also balancing that with what I'm on TV and I gotta do this and I gotta keep the image right? How frustrating is that? Is it?
It comes with maturity. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've gotten a lot better with it. When I was younger, I wasn't this good. You know what I mean? My tolerance level was extremely low. But my wife, she don't care. You know what I'm saying? She don't put up with the bullshit. She's straightforward. She gonna respond to you on social media. She gonna curse you out. You know what I mean? She gonna expose you. Me personally, I've gotten a lot better with it over the years, man. It came with maturity. And like you said yourself, Toda, you know, you gotta grow up with it, man, and just learn to ignore people. You know, the old phrase, sticks and stones break bones, words don't hurt. I don't let that stuff bother me. The block button is my favorite button on social media, man. If it's not positive, I'm blocking you.
Yep.
Straight up.
That came over time too. But Claudia, I gotta apologize to you because right before I went on this show, you tried to tell me, and you said, "Look, Mike, you about to go on reality TV. It's a different beast." And I'm like, Claudia, I've been on ESPN, Fox. I get people telling me death threats because if I say something about Kobe when he was living or the Lakers or whatever, they come after me all kind. I got a thick skin. You ain't ready for reality TV show fans until you actually on reality TV. They are a different breed of people. I mean, they zoom in on your IG to see how long your fingernails are. I mean, that's how crazy some of these people are. Man. But once again, like you said, over a period of time, you get some maturity and you just learn how to block them and just kind of, you know, let that great noise go in the back of your ear.
And the way Cynthia and I bonded was every Sunday, we would like support each other when all those, to embrace ourselves when the show would come on and just brace ourselves for all the negative comments. And it can really give people anxiety. It really can. And I think people think they presume you're rich and successful and got it going on, that everything's fine and you can take this, but they don't know that that could come at the end of a really hard week, or you lost a parent or whatever. Like you still have real life traumas that you're dealing with. So we're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back, the guys are gonna give their opinions on some of today's top trending topics. Stick around, we'll be back with more. Welcome back to Out Loud. I am joined by the husbands of reality TV, and we're having a great conversation. I wanted to ask you about some hot trending topics and your take on it. Okay, so the royal family, I'm sure y'all keeping, you know, you're abreast of all that's going on. You know, during the Oprah interview, Prince Harry told Oprah he had to leave his family to protect his wife's mental health. As married men, would you ever cut ties completely with your family to protect your wife and kids? That's a tough one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
My wife is my immediate family. That's when I met with her, she became my immediate family. She's above everybody else. So
you became one.
Yep. If anybody's disrespecting my wife in any kind of way, they can get cut off.
The hardest thing to do is to leave your kids because of her. But everybody else, it's not even a question.
Okay. Next thing, Lori Harvey, daughter of Steve Harvey, is dating Michael B. Jordan. And some people on social media have been critical of Lori for dating too many men. I think I know the answer to this question, but is there a double standard for Black women when it comes to sex and dating?
I think they need to shut up and leave that woman alone, man. Because some of y'all dudes, man, y'all dated a lot of females. You know what I'm saying? She's entitled to move on with her life if a past relationship didn't work without somebody judging her. You know what I mean? Some of y'all dudes, some of these dudes who be judging the women, they got more skeletons in their closet than a damn horror show. You know what I'm saying? And they want to pass judgment on her. Nah, if she decides to move on and she's happy in her new relationship, give her an opportunity to be happy. I don't like when dudes do that, man. So what? That's a pass. Everybody got a pass.
Once again, the girls that do it probably want to be her, and a lot of the men that do it probably want to be with her, to be honest with you. So, and nobody, like Pap said, and what you said, nobody says anything when the celebrity men do it. You know, like Nick Cannon, and I think this man should be in the Smithsonian. All the great fine women he's been with in his life. Nobody says anything about Nick Cannon, which is great. I'm happy they don't, but Nick Cannon is basically the equivalent of Lori Harvey. every other month he's with another celebrity, and that's great. That's wonderful. That's his life. He's single. He can do it. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, I think brothers are too hard on the woman with that, man. Like, be more realistic with that.
I think it's a double standard when it comes down to being a public figure also, because you're under a magnifying glass at all points in time. So you just can't get away with a lot of things that you would do that's actually normal. And so it's a different kind of standard, but it's never cool. You know, I mean, people just want to be them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very mature and interesting takes on those topics. Now, before we go, I just want to highlight some of the things y'all got going on. Papoose, you got any music coming out this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this year I'm doing something very special. I'm actually doing something that was never done before. I'm releasing a new album every month this year. So, and they're actually titled after the current month. So far I got January, February, and March is dropping real soon. You know what I mean? So I'm on a mission this year to drop 12 projects. So I want everybody to look out for that and look out for the Black Love book with my wife and myself. Very
nice. Okay, Marcel, tell us about your latest business, the Black Cigar Lounge.
Oh, Black Cigar Lounge, man, it's doing numbers, man. We're really, really proud of it. It's an upscale cigar lounge and restaurant here in Huntsville, where we're looking at different places throughout the country. And I just got some really, really great news this week. We're going to have a black wine, chocolate in a bottle. And I'm telling you, it's uncanny. This is a huge release for us. So be looking on your sales, especially in Georgia and Texas.
Very nice. Very nice. Looking forward to that. And Ralph, how does your venture Mind Music help kids and their families? Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I created a sleep system for kids. One of the big things about just being a parent is making sure your kids can get quality sleep. And so I created a sleep system. I'm a musician as well. And so the sleep system actually is curated to really, truly help them get to a place of REM sleep, get the rest that they need so we can get the rest that we deserve. Definitely check it out at My Music Project, or as well as mymindmusic.com.
All right. Sounds good. Mike, you have a new show on the Black News Channel. Congratulations. Start your day with Sharon and Mike. How's that going for you? And do you miss your Fox Soul family?
You know, I miss my Fox Soul family. Shout out to all the Mike and Donnie fans out there. I miss my boy Donnie Harrell immensely, and all the people that support our show. Thanks for that. But thank you. BNC is going great. Getting used to the new hours. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time, to be ready for a 6 o'clock in the morning show on the East Coast from 6 to 10. So it's on BNC. It's for us. It's by us. Black News Channel. It's the Black CNN. We do a show like Good Morning America. And of course, the book is still out, open mic. So make sure you continue to support that. I appreciate that.
Well, congratulations. And thank you all for hanging out and, being so transparent about your experiences, and for just being good Black men to your women and being unapologetic about it and showing it. We love it. We love to see it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to thank Papoose.
Hey, thank you for not asking about the bachelorette party, by the way. I appreciate it.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Thank you, CJ.
I'm not doing that. I'm not trying
Thank
to do
you for asking about the 20 women. I appreciate that.
I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube.